These are the French accents. Do you know what they are and how to pronounce them? Well, in this video, I'm going to help you master the French accents. But before we start, I cover this very topic in way more details in my complete French course. So click on the link above. Now let's start by the accent aigu. L'accent aigu, also known in English as acute accent. An accent aigu is a slanted dash that you put on top of vowels in French. You will find it on top of I in some words, just like this. Have a look at that. For the accent aigu, it goes this way. And it sounds like this. E. E. To make the sound of the accent aigu, I have some tips. First of all, smile. Then open your teeth a bit to create a small gap, and you simply go E. E. Can you do that? E. Now, let's have a look at some of the words where you'll find it and what they sound like. Can you read this word? It has a E accent aigu, so that means the sound is E. Un état, un état. Have a look at this one. The next one is épice, une épice. And what about this one? Un époux, un époux. So époux is the word we want. And how would you pronounce this one? E, bébé, bébé, un bébé. So what you have to know is that without, you take out this accent aigu and the word becomes, for example, for bébé, b, because the sound of the letter I is E. Now let's have a look at another accent, l'accent grave or grave accent. The accent grave goes the other way to the accent aigu, like this. So the sound, when placed on the E, or I, is different from the sound of the accent aigu. It sounds like this. Eh. Eh. Okay, so the accent aigu sound is E, but the accent grave is Eh. Eh. Let's have a look at some examples. For example, you want to say a brother. You would say un frère. Eh sound frère. Or also un père, a father, un père. Or even this word, après, after, après. Though this accent is mainly found on the letter E, it can also be found on A. So when you have it on the A, it means to or at, or even on the U in the words, for example, où, which means where. The sound, however, on these other letters isn't altered. So why put them on a U or an E, you might ask? Well, it is used to differentiate between other words of the same spelling. For example, A without an accent means has, as in he has. But put an accent on it, suddenly it means at or to. So A without an accent means has, and A with an accent means to or at. So what happens when both these accents appear on the same word? Here are some examples of what it sounds like. For example, have a look at this word, an event. Now, as you can see, the first letter starts with an accent aigu, the second with an accent grave. How do you pronounce that? So remember, et. So you start événement, 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 un événement. Have a look at the second word. Et, célèbre, célèbre. What about Helen? Et, Hélène, Hélène. Now have a look at the last word. Now this one has two accents aigus and one accent grave at the end. So how do you pronounce this? Éphémère. See that? Éphémère. Ephemeral. Okay, let's have a look at l'accent circonflexe now, or circumflex accent. An accent circumflex looks like a little hat, like this, and can appear on top of vowels like this. A, I, U. And just like the accent grave, the accent circumflex exists to distinguish words of the same spelling and pronunciation, but with different meaning. For example, you would have this on the word sur. S-U-R without accent circumflex means on or on top of. However, put an accent circumflex on top and it means safe and sûr or j'en suis sûr, I am sure of it. Historically, the circumflex often indicates a letter that has become silent over time. For example, the accent can indicate that the word used to have an S instead. You see that, for example, in the word vêtement. Look at the accent circumflex, le vêtement, and that means the clothes, okay? It was probably spelled vestment historically, but now the S has been removed and the replaced with with a circumflex. However, you can still find this S in vestimentaire, for example, vestimentaire. Now, another example of this being hospital, the way we spell it in French has hôpital, hôpital, historically having an S, but now removed and replaced by the circumflex. So have a look at the O with the circumflex, remove the circumflex and add an S right after that, and you have the word hospital. Okay. However, you will still find it in French in the noun hospitalité. Okay, so how does the sound vary when you put an accent circumflex on top of the E? Well, the sound is very similar to the accent grave, like E sound. For example, have a look at forêt, 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 okay? Have a look at fête, une fête, E sound, not fête, fête. And grêle, la grêle. And when it's on top of an A or an O, the pronunciation of the letter changes slightly. For example, des pâtes, ou lame, ou dos. So the sound becomes deeper. A, O, instead of A and O. Now, here are some more examples of the circumflex in action. For example, frôler, une tête, un dîner, une piqûre, bientôt. So the tréma accent is two dots on top of those vowels. E, U, E. And the tréma accent is here to show that the vowel should be pronounced separately from the one next to it. So, for example, let me give you an example. You have this word, M-A-I-S. Without tréma, mais, okay? It means mais, as in but, okay? It means mais. So the A and the E, so A-I, are pronounced together, making the sound E. But put a tréma on the E, as in the I, and it becomes maïs, maïs. So we've got two words here, mais, maïs. And just by adding the tréma on top of the I, or E in French, we have separated the sound of A and E, making it maïs. So, two completely different words and pronunciations, but with near identical spelling. Now let's have a look at the pronunciation of words with two vowels where one has a tréma. Can you read this one? You need to separate the O and the E. Okay, so Noël, Noël. Have a look at this one. Separate the A and the E. Naïf, naïf. And this one? Astéroïde, astéroïde. What about this one? Égoïste, égoïste. And to finish, I would like to have a look at la cédille. It's slightly different from the accent I've just taught you. La cédille is known as a cedilla, or the little hook that looks like this. It's almost like a little 5 that goes under the letter C to indicate that the C is pronounced S instead of K. A cedilla can only go under the letter C when it's followed by O, U, or A. However, it doesn't always have to be after the vowels O, U, A, only when we need to change the sound. For example, chocolat. So chocolat doesn't take a cedilla, as we need the CO to sound like co. However, the word garçon, which is boy, has a cedilla, as we want the C to sound like S. So we've added a cedilla under the C because the letter right next to it is an O. Chocolat, garçon. However, you will never find a cedilla on C when it's followed by E or E, as the sound in front of these vowels are already a soft C. For example, une fiancée. C. Okay, here we've got the S soft and the E with an accent aigu. Fiancée. Have a look at this verb here. Décevoir. Décevoir. And this word that we know very well, merci. Merci. Okay, the sound is already a S sound. So for I and for E. Okay, here's a little exercise. Can you read the following words with me? Which one has a S sound and which one has a K sound? Have a look at this list of words. Couleur. Couleur. There is no cedilla. We pronounce it a K sound. Couleur. Have a look at the next one. Leçon. Leçon. Très bien. This one. No cedilla. So it's a K sound because it has O afterwards. Un concombre. Un concombre. Have a look at this one. Une balançoire. Une balançoire. And this one. Un remplaçant. It has a S because the letter that follows is a A. If it didn't have a cedilla, then the sound will be K, remplaçant. But that's not the word. So, remplaçant. And finally, this one. Saucisse. Do you notice that we pronounce the S sound and not the K? And why is that? Because there is an I after the C. And like I said to you earlier on, if an I or an E is preceded by a C, then the sound is S. Saucisse. Now, why don't you have a look at this playlist here where I give you key content for beginners? Remember that if you want the support guide to this lesson, you can have access to all of them if you click on the join button. It's all about joining my community. Have a look at what we offer at Learn French with Alexa. And of course, there is the website learnfrenchwithalexa.com. That's it for me. Au revoir, à bientôt. Bisous, bisous.